2017 STI with Cusco oil catch can. In this video, we're going to talk about how to route the lines for the catch can. It doesn't only apply to the Cusco one, any oil catch can that you use for these cars, it'll be the same thing basically. So this is how to do it the right way. Starting off with the bracket. Mount your bracket, reuse the stock bolt for the ground there, and use one of the Cusco supply bolts for the top one. Make the ground nice and tight. Pull that AC aluminum line out of that plastic C-clamp that's right there. Pull it out and put it on top of it so that the line doesn't rub against the bracket right around there. After you've done that, before you mount your catch can, take the fittings off of it and put Teflon tape on the threads, because I pressure tested this unit before I put it in and it leaked there everywhere. So put Teflon tape on it, then put them back in. When you go to route how the fittings are going to line up, if you're looking at the catch can like this straight, route the top one at a 45-degree angle to the left. You'll see why in a second if you see that hose. And this one, the one on the side, it'll be at a, I will say, 20-degree angle to the left. Alright, so after you've done that, let's go to where the lines go. Let me mention what you're gonna need for this. 2 zip ties, 1, 2, a total of 12 clamps. These are 3/8 to 7/8. Bought them in Home Depot. Same thing with the zip ties. 10-footer, 5/8 inch diameter clear tubing, also from Home Depot. And also, because you're gonna need to splice this hose, this one, I don't know if you ever see that clamp down there. There's a splicer right on top of it. It's a 1/4 inch metal splicer with threads. It fits nice and snug in there. So that's what you're gonna need to get the job done. I also ordered the recirculating hose kit from Cusco, which is extra. It doesn't come with the catch can. That's why you see that I have a crap load of Cusco hoses and just that tiny bit from the Home Depot one. But that was just a waste of money, honestly. You could just go to Home Depot and get everything you need after you have the catch can in your hands. Alright, so you're gonna reuse this stock hose right here. Don't even take off this clamp. I did it for no reason. I basically wasted a clamp right there. Another thing to mention is that 2015s and 16s have a different type of clamp in the engine bay. 17s and up have this ring looking thing, which is a pain in the butt to get it off, by the way. And another thing I almost forgot about the can, this is not baffled, it's just a can. So oil, it's gonna have the tendency to sort of go back into the engine. I'm sure some of it will stay. I'm sure it'll work fine. But if you're able to get a baffled can, it's even better. And another thing to mention is that Cusco doesn't supply you with not even half of the shit that you need to do this install right. So for that, F Cusco. Also got the brake master cylinder brace down there, by the way. Okay, so now you gotta locate your dumps and your returns. What I mean by dumps is where you head and block, basically route the PV crankcase, what's it called? Crankcase pressure ventilation, PVC, where it dumps it and where it sucks it back in. So for the heads, our left side head comes up here, our right side head comes up here, tees off right here on this hard line that's mounted to the intercooler. So our heads basically dump right here on this hose, right? Since we're gonna reuse it and we're not gonna take off this clamp, just this one right here, which originally was on this solenoid, we're gonna put a 1/2 inch C, which I forgot to mention when I was saying all the crap that you need to do this install, you're gonna need two of them, 1/2 inch barb plastic tees. So you put a clamp in there nice and tight. The 1/2 inch tee will fit well there without any leaks. So now we have our head dumps right here, right? Now we're gonna get our block dump for the PVC. So if we have this hose and you look down there, there's a splicer in there. It's a 1/4 inch metal splicers with threads. That's our Cusco hose, right? Right underneath is a splicer, and then that bottom clamp, that's the stock hose that I cut from the turbo inlet plug right here, because I didn't want to force it out and risk breaking the actual plastic connector. So I just cut it right where the clamp basically sat, the stock clamp, and I pulled out the remainder of the hose, and I put that 1/4 inch splicer inside of the stock hose, put a clamp, then put my Cusco hose and a clamp in there. So now I got a splice, and that's my block dump, which basically unites with my head dump and my block dump. Tees off right here, and it goes to the can right there. This is my dump for both head and block. Cusco just wants you to do basically head and not even get the gases out of the block, so you will only be getting like half of the oil and fumes that you could get out of the engine. So this is the right way to do it. Make sure you don't do this backwards, as to basically put dump on top and return on the bottom, because what you will be doing is basically making it easier for the oil to go from here to here. You got to use gravity to your advantage and make dump the bottom fitting. That way the oil will have a harder time traveling up, and it'll have the tendency to stay in the can. So that's why we make this our dump. Alright, and this is why I put it at a 20-degree angle, so it could just go nice and straight onto the T. Now let's talk about our returns, which is at a 45-degree angle. You see it clears the battery right there. Everything else here barely doesn't even touch the blow-off valve. I mean the recirculating valve. This car doesn't have a blow-off valve. And this is our second T. Okay, and it goes to our rear turbo inlet connector right there, that white thing. Then this other part of the T goes to our front turbo inlet connector right there. So basically this is what's pulling vacuum, because they both go to the turbo inlet. So that's basically sucking up air, making a vacuum in these two hoses. This one, sorry about that, this one and that one. So this is sucking up, right? And then the vacuum goes to the can. So whatever's being dumped from here, because this is under positive pressure, is being sucked by this. But that's why we put a can in here, so whatever we don't want to go back into the engine will hopefully stay in it. If it was baffled, it'll work even better, but hopefully it does the trick. All right, hopefully I'm not forgetting anything. So yeah, dump, return, head dump, block dump, unite, go to our can, front turbo inlet vacuum, rear turbo inlet vacuum, unite, and go to our can. Positive pressure, negative pressure, so it basically goes whoop like this to the engine. But hopefully the can does its job. If I forget to mention anything, I'll just put it in the description. All right.